One. Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
Can hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. Hope everybody survived today, let alone thrived. So, welcome back.
Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap on a wild Wednesday. Wild markets for sure, presenting a ton of opportunity, ton of volatility in the markets, which is what we welcome as traders. But pretty volatile markets that we had here. Welcome to At the Buzzer, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this segment is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay, been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023, and that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I'm here to share some of my experiences, some knowledge, and hopefully help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Thank you for joining us each and every day that you do. We cannot do this show without you. Shout out to Dan Trader, always number one in the chat. Alex, I've seen you up there as well. We got Jay. Thank you for everyone for joining. Coach Jay, I hope you took the trade you called out once volume went above 50%. I took one of the trades I called out. I took a couple of trades today. Had a decent day overall. I'm not going to complain about the day. Had a nice gold long last night. A NASDAQ short today. And then I got a little aggressive. Coach Paul, about 2 months ago, used a distinction between aggressive and assertive. I got aggressive today. Luckily, we have some features on Topstep accounts that allow us to manage risk and preserve some of the capital that we made on the day. I aggressively got into a short in the NASDAQ. If the trade worked out, I was not a part of it, but ended the day up, securing more than 50% of the profit that I had at the P&L high for the day. So it was a pretty good day. Let us know in the chat how you did today. Were you up on the day, down on the day? Anything that you learned from the day? Did you follow your plan? Did you sit on the sidelines? Because the markets were extremely volatile. Let's take a look at, we do have the president speaking right now. So we will try to, cover any headlines that come out of his press conference or his meeting with Prime Minister Modi. We'll see it also in the markets if we do hear anything on the trade war. As far as planned news goes, we had New York Fed manufacturing number come out, 10.7. Forecast was negative 1.8. We have a bunch of bank earnings. Morgan Stanley beat. Why can't I think of the other bank's name at this point? Because Morgan Stanley's the winner now.
JP Morgan?
Was it JP Morgan? No, it was
Chase?
Nope.
Chase?
I'm blanking right now.
First National?
Goldman.
Goldman.
I believe it was for the first time ever. So shout out to Morgan Stanley. Thank you, chat. Chat knows everything. You guys help us run this show. Outside of that, no planned numbers still out. We're not getting any government data. We do have planned that we are going to get CPI next week, tentatively on the 24th. That's next Friday, before the Fed has to make that rate decision. But of course, unplanned headlines are what's moving these markets around. Escalations, the trade war between China and the U.S. Sometimes it's almost so much to keep up with that we don't know where we really sit right now. We had a ton of Fed speakers out today speaking on, a bunch of different things, Fed rate decisions, trade war, tariffs, consumer prices, consumer spending, a ton of it, which leads to a ton of volatility. We are definitely in an enhanced, increased volatility environment, which we embrace as traders. Increased volatility means more opportunity, but it also does mean more opportunity losses. Most importantly, Coach Paul, we got to make sure we manage out. Anything that you got on the news for the day?
Well, like you said, volatility, and it's coming from just any moment now. There's a news about to be made or some comment and can drive this pretty hard. So staying, like you said, staying true to your risk management principles. But other news, market news, the earnings as expected, as almost always. But right now, it was just Friday when we were talking, and some news came out
Yes, it was
off
after
of a
the close.
comment. So, but I'm a technician, and outside of that, I don't see anything big.
Got you. Let's take a look at the quote board here. 36 different markets we can trade with top step accounts today. To the downside, we had copper down 0.91%, micro Bitcoin futures down 1.09%, and micro Ethereum, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, down 2.98%. To the upside, we had gold up 1.46%, making a new all time high. The Nikkei up 2.19%. Is that a new all time high in the Nikkei? No, it's not. We're not far off of it though. And silver, our biggest percentage mover to the upside, up 3.67%, making a new all-time high there in silver. We are continuing to see the metal markets be the stars of the show, uh, continuing to grind higher. Let's take a look at our big four. We had crude oil down 0.09%, the S&P up 0.44%, gold we already talked about up 1.45%, and the Nasdaq up 0.75% on the day. Let's take a look, Coach Paul. I got a Nasdaq chart up here on the daily. What are we looking at here?
We're still staying smack dab in the middle of the tantrum candle. Hanging at the 20-day moving average. Buy low, sell high work today, both sides of that market. But um, every time I see that candle, I'm like, don't get too committed to either side. Volatility is coming either way. Is this a top? We'd have to close below that big candle to see liquidation. I don't think we've seen that, but still, that takes some time. Um, that chart tells me be quick.
Yeah.
Do not screw around in this area. And how about you?
Uh, Sitting in this daily candles range from Friday is just saying that anything that happens in here has the potential to be extreme volatility. It's what caused it. We see the daily ATR continuing to creep up. It's almost 400 points now in the Nasdaq. We saw it get as high as 800 points, so about half of what the volatility that we saw in the middle of April. But that daily ATR has doubled almost. Not doubled, not
In
doubled
one
yet.
day,
Yeah,
but
but it's up there. It is up there. And it is continuing to rise again, about 400 points daily ATR in Nasdaq, which just means that there is more volatility. 446 points high to low range today. Ton of opportunity, but like you said, Coach Paul, you got to be quick because when you're wrong, you're probably wrong big if you don't have a stop.
yeah, and it happens in a hurry.
Yes, it does.
So being inside that big candle with that big volume off of all-time highs, be quick, be nimble. I mean, because it's the bull market has been challenged. I mean, it's taken a hit. Uh, I'll leave you to some good boxing analogies, but this one stung and it's still echoing.
Yeah.
Like, so we will see.
Hmm.
What's that?
Hmm.
What's that line?
What is that white line, chat? What is that? What do we have there?
Now, we did spend some time, but I think here's on today's action, we got above 200, we exploded, and then we collapsed.
Yep.
But look how far extended were from the opening when we got through
From the
that.
Globex Open, yeah. And then we're gonna add in something here to this analysis that we do all the time, and I said it during the opening call as well. I said, shout out to Coach Paul. This 200 moving average line in the sand is going to tell us a lot. No cheating, chat. But if you had to guess, when I put this view up on the started the day, did it cross above that 200 moving average or stay below it? Say it stayed below, let's do a 1 in the chat. If it crossed above, 2 in the chat. Just looking at this price action, right? Because that was part of the analysis this morning during the opening call. It went above, stayed below. Did cross above.
Yes, it did, and but key point here is how far we were. How, 350 higher on the day at that point.
Right.
Um, we're away from a volume. In other words, the VWAP. We were how many? 5, 6 ATRs away.
At this point, up at this high, we were on the 30-minute, we were 2 ATRs away. On a shorter time frame, let's see, like a 3-minute, we were about 6 ATRs away.
Okay. Now, on that half hour, and let's look at the volume of that half hour, which was the opening, was it not?
The New York session open, this one right here?
Yep.
Yes.
So, did you see that it was a violent reaction when we got underneath that price?
Yep.
Why? Oh, look at the size of that buying in the first half an hour.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, Coach Paul.
Mhm.
Comment from the president. We're in a trade war with China. Tariffs, very important tool for defense. We are seeing the president comments coming out of the president right now. So let's just keep an eye on the volatility in the markets. Of course, we can't trade it right now. But we saw on Friday another almost 1% sell off after some of this escalation. So we're in a trade war with China, just in case you guys didn't know already. Let's see what we
Uh,
do with this trade war.
Thanks for the flash.
It
Now
is,
I know.
yeah. This is going to be interesting. Uh,
Well, we'll go over gold and silver later. Um, but the one thing I want is when you're that extended, you're extended on the average true range. So if we added the average true range that I have from the settlement, we had resistance at 67. Oh, and a Nasdaq 25,118. What's the high?
25,115.
Okay, in the MNQ, it was 25,117.75.
Okay.
Now, that was one ATR daily range. And we did that early in the day. So why I bring that up is if you, what more can you expect if you were long? Or if you wanted to establish a long, you, you're a bit late to the game.
Right. In this huge consolidation up here.
In this huge, yeah. And then, right, the consolidation after we make that just, what's it doing? It's going sideways. It's balance. Balance at the high volume and extended range. I mean, so all the buyers were in.
Yep.
Like, and then you get those are times I just start watching for vacuums.
Yeah, you could see it here also. We got up to this high. Look at what the volume did. Right, we had initial sell-off, we spiked back up, and then just a volume valley here where all of the volume just died until we got a headline. And I think we're back in those markets, Coach. Headline-driven markets, we don't really get any explosive moves until a headline comes out, and then once it comes out, it's not a move that you want to fade, really. So as soon as that volume got back above the average, that was a pretty aggressive sell-off there.
Yeah. Well, if we looked at from a point of view of a volume profile,
Mm,
so now we know we have a big range, and we have the average expected range, and it's not even expected range because that's up. So a range would be, on average, if you looked at the median, would be half of that range what you would expect. This was full on, and it was early. Um, so when we got up, what happened up here?
ton of volume absorbed at that high. And where did it happen? We talked about the 30-minute candle, the highest volume 30-minute candle from Friday. We traded above 50% of it, but the volume died at these highs, right? We did not see continuation. Uh, maybe you extend this up a little bit here because that sell off did include, it was a while that we were selling off here. But whoever sold this is continuing to sell up here when we get up here. In the S&P, we see it on the offer. There's a bunch of thousand lots that get traded or shown on the offer. Nobody's willing to take them out because it kind of feels like nobody's willing to buy into uncertainty right now. Uh, and
And
when you buy something and it doesn't go up, and you keep buying it and it doesn't go up, how many traders are looking for the breakout here? Oh yeah, it's finally going to break out. We're going back up to the highs. Price never moved higher.
no, and then we saw big volume, the biggest outside of the opening range. And what kind of volume was that? Selling volume.
Yep.
Um, these are things when we talk about it to be aware of. That's after that extension. So let's say if you're long and it didn't reach your target or your stop, but you see evidence like that,
Hmm.
would you get out of the trade? Or would you wait for it to hit your stop? And I'm not saying either one is right, but that's things that you start thinking about when that happens.
Absolutely. When we start to consolidate like this is where I start to think, okay, if we get back below a certain price, maybe I don't want to be in this trade anymore. If I see some volume to the downside, I definitely don't want to be in this trade anymore if I'm long. Most of my trades were to the short side today. We did have a decent, um, and we talked about this looking at the overnight range. We had a decent short initially, but we came down, and I'm really starting to maybe volume profiles growing on me a little bit. We came down to point of control from yesterday. We tagged
Yeah,
that point of control, and we had high volume reversal, highest volume outside of the opening candle, close above that, and a really nice reversal. These markets are just presenting a ton of opportunity. We highlight a bunch of different trade setups because I think you still do need a trade setup in order to take a trade, right? I don't know about you, Coach Paul, but it's not just a blind buy or sell at any level. But these markets are presenting great, better than you could ask for trade setups for longs and for shorts, right? But we really just have to make sure that we're in a space mentally that one, we have a an approach to trading it, so we can repeat it, and then two, trade it with reasonable size so you can actually realize the trade. That last point was a reminder to myself. Uh, but great opportunities in these markets right now. And then another J trade at the lows here. Highest volume. Yes, it was a buying candle, but if I change this to a 5 minute, it could be a sell side candle. But high volume, we close above the high. Uh, there is just some really clean trading happening right now. Not a lot of overlap because the spread is so thin. There's a ton of volatility. Uh, so have an approach and manage your risk.
oh, yeah, you had some, but interesting. It is on this J trade. It was like you said, it is buy, but right before that, we were making new lows
Mm-hmm.
with double the average volume.
Yep. Real nice continuation.
Um, and we don't see this kind of movement that like that too often, where you get just the buyers just absorbed it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, usually it's fail, but they came in and then, or the market had great buying at that level. Oh, what was that level?
Uh,
Oh, look
yeah.
at that.
So this is on a 1 minute. So it shows up different ways, right? Depending on what time frame you use, it's going to aggregate it differently. But the idea is that we got down to that level on a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, whatever it is. It was a ton of volume that traded there, and once we got above it, uh, really nice trade. I really do love these markets when they trade this way. When we're trading in 120 point range, Coach Paul, I want to do anything else but trade. I'm going to be honest. Uh, but when we are seeing, 400 point ranges, high to low, we just get better follow through, better movement, more momentum trades. You still have to be patient and be aware of over leveraging in the trades, but there's just not a lack of opportunity.
Yes. So look, we went through the opening range breakout too,
Hmm.
and it was tough. Those opening range breakouts haven't been easy trades lately. Um, why? Well, in here, we're in the, just remember, look at that candle every morning.
The opening candle.
That no, that Friday's candle.
Oh yeah.
Every
Oh
time
yeah.
I see it,
Yep.
remember what we're in.
That candle is our North Star right now.
Yeah.
It is telling us
Um,
everything about what these markets are.
so, um,
Rich
all right,
wants
what's next?
Rich wants to know how many times did the power trade indicator go off in Quant Tower today? More than I could count. More than I could count. There was a ton of volume getting traded in the market. More than I could count. But let's take a look real quick. S&P, similar story. You're still inside that candle. Uh, Holding above 50% of it right now, closing above 50% of it. But again, this market is going to be volatile in this candle until it decides to leave, and it could leave extremely volatile as well, depending on how and what the catalyst is to leave this candle. Uh, Very similar story here in the S&P. Just levels change right based on the numbers, but almost an identical chart here. Uh, Take a look at the Russell really quick. Is it doing the same thing? The Russell is leaving that Friday candle behind, right? Everything else,
Yeah, Russ. Yeah, glad you brought that up. I wanted to bring that up.
yeah,
The catch up trade
catching
is
up.
catching up.
Yeah, we are.
Um, and why I would bring it, it's a safety play,
Mm,
which is what do I mean. There, if you buy in the Russell as a manager, a fund manager who needs long exposure to equities, what's more volatile, the
tech.
Russell or tech?
Yep.
So, your risk and a risk reward, I got to park money. Ask yourself, in your next 401k distribution decision, you want to get loaded up to tech, or would you like to take some tech off and take some of it off and put it in? But you have to have long equities. Well, Russell, it's a lot less volatile, and that seems to be what's happening because that took off in early.
Yep. The Russell's already closed above that high volume candle from Friday. Closed above it yesterday. Used it as a support today. 2,530 is that high. Interesting stuff here in the Russell. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Opened it up above the candle, came down, ticked it to the high. Nice little reversal pattern off of here. 3 bar reversal, J trade, whatever you want to call it. We got high volume right at that low, right off the high of the Friday candle. Nice reversal pattern there as well. Russell did sell early, but on a higher time frame, it is better. Anything else you got on the equities, Coach Paul?
that's it.
That is it. Make sure you keep an eye on the ditch, like JD says, an eye on the headlines, because they have to get these markets moving. Let's take a look at gold now. Gold on a daily continues to do gold things. Uh, what are we seeing here on this daily, Coach Paul?
Just on our way to the outer reaches of the universe. Here I was talking to an old trader friend of mine. He goes, "Let's play a game of you sell it."
Right.
No, you sell it.
You go first. Let me know when it's safe.
When we know, and wow, all-time highs. When we were talking yesterday, yet that candle from yesterday was just a compressed, balanced candle, and it had a high potential of continuation. And that's a J candle. See, look at the volume. Was that high volume selling, which did nothing. We closed
Co-
above that. We haven't even touched that price.
Nope. Yeah, we held it the next day and we talked about that, right? That candle had the potential, and everyone's like, "Oh, did they break gold? Did they do it? Gonna sell off now? Got this bad news, whatever." It held that low and has done what this market has done. I think Coach Vince said it today. We've had eight red days in the past 38 trading days in gold. Think about that when you want to short gold. It it does present opportunities in the day time frame. We're gonna look at one today, but reasonable expectations for shorts because again, the day closing in gold, the day closing negative in gold has happened 8 times in the last 38 trading days. So
And
if you can catch a short, catch it. But make sure you pull it in the boat.
or use small bait.
Right. Taking a look
Um,
at last night in gold. Uh, really nice rally. Uh,
with urgency.
with some urgency. We had first 30-minute opening range. We have volume leaving that range by the time Shanghai opens. Uh, and this was it's just a buy, find a spot to buy at market. I don't know if it's really buy the dip, but it's find a spot to get in long. You can see that Globex opening range high. We mark it out. We mark it out every day. Even this aggressive sell-off after we made new all-time highs in gold, 42.3580, which we will probably be taking out tonight. We're 8 points off of it. I would be very surprised if we do not take that out tonight. We came right back down to that Globex high, 55 point sell-off. Where do they stop? Right at that Globex session high. That's why we mark it out all the time. It can be an important level, and we bounce right back off of it, right back up to near the all-time highs here. The trade I took, I was looking for all-time highs, but also you guys know that I watch the market's reaction to whole number levels. I got long in gold last night. I did take this trade pretty early. Um, the urgency Coach Paul is talking about, we had that on a 3 minute, right? If we look at the
Oh,
first
yeah.
3 minutes, volume left that range pretty early. I said, you know what, I want to be in this trade. So I took the trade. My target on this uh, was not just let it run to the moon, right? Ideally, it could have been, but I had to have a reasonable profit target, and for me, it was 41.99. Why 41.99? Because we had not traded 4200s in gold yet. I wasn't going to sit there and watch the position, so I wanted to make sure I put a profit target in there. And happy with the trade. Do I look at it after the fact and say, "Oh man, I could have made 35 more points"? I could have. This is a case where we have to, and we talked about this before. What percentage of the move did you measure? Sorry, what move did you measure, and then what percentage of that move did you take? In this case, I took 95% of the move. Actually, I think so I'm not going to complain about it. Um, this
You
move was
could,
not for me.
but
Say it again, Coach Paul.
it wouldn't do any good here.
Who's listening?
This is-
Who's listening? Uh, Rich says revenge trading after not holding the other night. I don't know that I would call this a revenge trade. It was just take what you measured. It was a take what you measured trade. Um, I'll
There
say
you
it that
go.
way.
I like
Oh,
that.
just joking. Yeah, I mean, not holding the other night definitely did upset me a little bit. But there's one way I can fix that: take the trades that you measured. Um, but yeah, I mean, what a nice move here. A really nice sell off. Another nice J trade opportunity here. I did see this one. I could not sleep last night. Jojo wants to know how many hours of sleep did I get last night? About 2 hours.
Wow.
I saw this one. I was awake at 5:20 this morning. I saw the J trade, and I'm just like, I can't do it.
I can't not take it.
Yeah, we closed above that high, and just another nice trade there. And we can see the market is holding that volume so far. So I'm going to be watching this 3 minute candle here. If we do get a pullback in gold, that range is 4180s at the low, 420570 at the high. What are you seeing here, Coach Paul, in gold?
Well, well, we had the urgency early in a 3 minute, 5 minute, you name the minute, 30 minute, and we had a big update. But let's talk again about the average true range. Today's range was about $80.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the average true range is 75.
Yep.
So once again, in this today, the resistance for the average true range from the settlement came out to 42.3840.
High of the day, 42.3580. That daily ATR measurement is a all right. So what Coach Paul is talking about, if you guys are wondering, this settlement price was 41.63 in gold. The daily ATR in gold is 69 points. Nice. Uh, to the
Yeah,
high, I have it about 69 points. So
yeah,
it's a zone.
yeah. It's
42.32. Look at the market's reaction up there. We've spent the daily range already. So in order for us to get an outside range day or a continuation of that move to the upside, Coach Paul, we have to have an anomaly, and anomaly days just don't happen all the time.
right. It's because then when you think in probabilities, if you've been long and you're waiting for a little more,
Yep.
you kind of your edge is starting to dissipate. Like, because time is marching on. What do you need? Well, you need some volume, some new buyers to come in.
Yep.
And while we talk about balance, what happened at that when we first time we hit that price?
Volume died. We sold off hard.
And look at the volume on the selling. But also, let's attach a VWAP to that area when it first touches. At the least, you would want to see VWAP go above that candle. So if you wanted to sell it, I mean, on a price, but if VWAP doesn't leave that candle's range the first time it gets up to the expected range or average range, it's up to the buyers now to new buyers to go forward.
Yep. And
And
you're asking new buyers, and not just new 1 and 2 lot buyers. You those are a dime a dozen. Dime a dozen, right? Hey, buy a 1 lot up here. Sure. But if there's 500 offered up there, if there's 1,000 offered up there, what the hell are you doing for me, right? Unlot buyer. You're kind of getting in the way. And you know, somebody with some size has to come up and buy there. And if I'm big money, do I want to allocate a ton of size at the high of the range when I know what the daily range normally is and I'm buying at the high?
yeah, and at this point, if I'm long and it didn't hit my price, well, I I've got 98% of it.
Yep.
Okay, because now the discussion becomes penny wise, pound foolish.
Hmm.
Because this has ever happened to you. I know it's happened to me. Come on,
Oh, it has to get there.
come on. It has to get there. It's there. It's like
Right.
if it's $1 away and you've got $8 in the trade,
Money and run.
yeah. because one of the things too is it's not exact. This isn't, but we get new information. It's getting close. I would do that on every candle, like when it gets into that range.
Oh
First
yeah.
time I was like, I'm not hanging around. So very a nice fade trade, and I'm not good at those. I probably wouldn't take it, but
I love those
it
trades.
is. Yeah, there you
I
go.
love those trades. They're hard to take because you really got to be patient. But man, when they work real good because it's just okay. Everyone who bought on the way up, like, well, I'm up, right? And like you said, Coach Paul, if I bought here, if I bought here, if I bought there, if I bought there, if I bought
It's
here, if
everyone.
I bought here, I want to take profits, right? So it just okay, it's not going higher. Everybody has to sell. Quick liquidation move, and then right back up. So nice two-sided trade today in gold. If somebody was able to catch that short, how do you get anchored VWAP? It's in the drawing tools. 5 icons down on the left side of your chart. You have projection. Halfway down that menu, you have anchored VWAP. I put a star next to mine because I put that shit on everything. It shows up in your drawing tool. It's two candles with a line going through it. You click on that and you click on a candle and it anchors it from there. I'll code a bot to only trade J trades. Edgy, let me know when you do. Let me know when you do. I know some people have built some indicators for it. Shout out to the traders. I know Blue Boy's in the chat. Rook is in the chat as well. Built some indicators looking for that trade specifically. I was working on one for a little while. I feel like it distracted me from my trading a little bit. Where I said, you know, I can just take these manually, and then when somebody automates my thought process, I'll just split the profits with them. I'll give you a 0.5%. That's not financial advice. That's not true. We got to
There is
be careful about joking about
not
stuff.
advice at all.
Right, not advice at all.
Feed me.
Right. We got who is this? Dave in the chat says requested my first payout today. Pray for me. Congratulations, Dave. I
Nice.
also saw Jay in the chat. Birthday, so happy birthday to you, Jay. And then I saw someone else who said, Crippen said, I blew my funded account today. This is the perfect time to review what happened. Were you over leveraged? Were you revenge trading? Were you emotionally trading? Was it a slow burn of your accounts? Put a 1 in the chat if you've had a slow burn of an XFA, or is it more a catastrophic loss of the account? 2's in the chat if most of your XFA losses are catastrophic losses. 1's in the chat if they slow burns, you have a daily loss limit, and you just hit a streak of losing. I'm gonna guess that a lot of the answers are 2's. A lot of the answers are 2's. A lot of my answers are 2's. We've talked about this before. I've had XFAs where I built up a $10,000, $15,000 balance, and I lose it pretty quickly. I'm not proud of it, but it happens, right? But the fact that that can happen means that there is, and if it happens repeatedly, it means that there's something that can be fixed, right? And the sooner we address that, can go about fixing the issue. We talk a lot here about the technical side of trading, where entries and exits are. But Coach Paul, we know. My track coach used to say this all the time in high school. Running track is 80% mental, right? Once you figure out the physical part, most of the athletes that I was on a track with had the same physical, makeup.
Attributes.
Right. Just same physical attributes. Naturally, everybody was pretty fast. But the ones who succeeded were the ones who mentally, when things got tough, made the right decisions, or, could battle through any kind of adversity. That's what this is for the most part. Everybody in this chat has the capability of making a win. Do you have the capability of accepting losses, though? And that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. 548 in the green for Cato. Nice trading.
Well, I just want to go one more step on that, Coach. Learn from that. Learn from it, because if you've done it before or you're doing it, you review this and it becomes apparent.
Yep.
There is a great tool on TopstepX. You put your daily loss limit period, stop, out. I,
Yep.
I know it's easy, but I know the feeling. I don't let it happen.
I think I've used the trailing personal daily loss limit every day in the past 2 weeks. Uh, and then there's a part of me that says, hey, you know what? Do you really need to be locking out all the time? Uh, the market's going to continue to present opportunities. You should just lock yourself out. But I put it on there. It has kept profits in my account. Uh, do I want to still see opportunities? I do. But even if I see a good opportunity and it doesn't work out, right? I might not be over leveraging. I might not be, emotionally trading. I might think I see a good opportunity and the market disagrees. I'll take some money home. So use the features to your advantage. How do you set trailing loss to a specific number? Show you. So in the settings, these are all blocked out right now because I set it to liquidate and block and lock the settings. Here's the trick, chat. Set it to liquidate only, gives you the option to change the settings again. So you could always just get back in there, right? If you are locking yourself up, it doesn't help to be the prisoner and the warden at the same time. You could just open up the cell again and say, hey, you know what? Just whatever. We'll just open it up again. You can go. You can run free. So set it to liquidate and block, and then lock your risk settings. But if you can kind of see it here, it's kind of grayed out a little bit. But I set it to $700. Enable trailing from my realized gains. So if I gave back $700, it was going to lock me out for the day. I can't find the definition for a J trade anywhere. Do I need to do a YouTube short? I think I need to do a YouTube short.
I think so.
I think I need to do a YouTube short. I'm going to post something on my Instagram. It's an exhaustion trade, but we talk about it so much that I think it would be nice to just have a 30-second video to send to new traders or traders who are joining us for the first time. So I will do that. Hold me to a chat.
Only if you hit the like button.
That is a fact. Hold on a second. How many likes are we at right now? We have
Not enough.
535 people watching right now. If we can get this video to 150 likes, I'll do a YouTube short of DJ trade. 150. Jojo says, I hear that pattern every day. It happens every day. It happens somewhere every day. Would you agree with that, Coach Paul?
Absolutely.
It happens somewhere.
Are you patient enough?
That's the key.
Is it available? You might not be available when it happens.
You might not be available. It may not always be a winner either. We've seen a couple of times where it's a losing trade. So, it's a game of percentages.
There's losing trades?
I mean, some people don't like to talk about them. I had losing trades today. But yeah, it happens. Speaking of which, why don't we answer this question from Chauncey? Do you think A+ trades should have a tight or loose stop, more or less leverage? What would you say to that, Coach Paul?
Should have the same size stop as always. It's a function of your account balance.
Yep.
If it's an A+ trade, I have a feeling you should only take A+ trades.
That's a fact too. That is true.
And if truly, I mean, if you do, let's think about it. If you do take just A+ trades, can you have a bigger position? You're taking less trades, you have more ammunition. I would think of it that way. But if you're taking B-, what other the ones are there? C's. If you like a lot of C's,
yeah, D's.
Mix in some D's.
Right.
No. But if you're just seriously, if you're patient enough, you might not trade for 3 days. Are you the patient hunter?
Right. Oh man, what was that book? The Way of the Hunter Warrior?
The Way of the Hunter Warrior.
Great book. Great book. Coach Paul made that suggestion. I bought the book. I read it in a day. Great book.
Yeah. So if you're hunting for big game, that's an A+ trade. Well, in that book, What is the hardest animal to hunt in the jungle?
Is it the lion?
No, it's the elephant.
Elephant.
It has gray skin.
Uh,
It blends in. That's and in the jungle. Now, if you're out in the open savannah, that's a different story.
right.
But you would think you could be the grayness that you could stumble upon them, and you wouldn't know it. Um, yeah, but if you're a big game hunter, I'm not here to offend anybody who doesn't hunt. Um, I'm not hungry enough to hunt. I could just go to the store. But if that's your game, if that's what you're looking for, yeah, you not only I would say not only can you, I would lean towards you need to.
Yep. Absolutely. Uh, real quick, I want to have some conversation about stuff, but do we need to look at crude oil? Did crude oil do too much today?
Oh, it got down to 50 what?
58, 58.20,
57.
58.20.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about this A plus trade conversation because I see Dan C in the chat says hindsight trade is A plus. That's it. Uh, I would, I disagree with that. An A plus trade is when you go and do your back testing, say, hey, I could get in here and get out here. We're grading the setup, right? Not the result. We're grading the setup because even A plus trades, they're not 100 probability, but there are some trades, right? Think about all the trades that you take throughout the year, the month, the week, whatever it is, right? How many of those, when you actually go back and back test, would you measure and say, hey, yeah, this is something that I want to look for all the time? Right? Most of them is just some random bullshit where I clicked the button because the markets were moving and I heard somebody say something and I saw somebody else with a green P&L, so I wanted a green P&L. So I got in, but now I have a red P&L and it's my fault. And now I have psychological issues with my trading. Like, no, you're just not patient enough. And I'm saying that as somebody who does it all the time. There are trades that when we go to backtest, whatever your strategy is, it could be a moving average crossover, it could be a high volume reversal. There are trades that if I could look right now on a 3-minute chart and go back 50 years, there are going to be trades that stick out. Those are A plus trades. Now, the trick is how do we reverse engineer those so we can realize them in real time? They're high percentage, high probability trades that we measure for. They don't always show up. You got to be patient for them to show up. But when they do, those are the ones that when we backtest, we say, yeah, this is what I'm trying to catch in real time.
Here's the other thing to add to that. And I'm not saying it takes extreme discipline.
Yep.
What if you get 3 losing A plus trades in a row?
Yeah.
What's your reaction going to be? Because it's going to happen.
It is definitely going to happen. You change your form. I was actually just doing a voiceover of a video I'm about to post on Instagram about exactly this. I was during my lunch break, Coach Paul, I went to the basketball court and got some shots up. Some of them fell and some of them didn't. Some of them were complete air balls. I shot the ball the same way every time. And I think in the video, I went about 50%. So I'll take it.
Yeah. And if you do some video dubbing, hey.
Right. Yeah. You can
I
edit out the misses.
Well, I use this with my players. I really like teaching younger kids. So I have fifth, sixth. I've left the high school going back to just getting principles in their mind. So when I was young, I used to hang around the gym just to play. I was the young guy. In the day, there wasn't AAU. You hang around, play enough, and you could play if you played right. But shooting, and you said, you're going to miss more than you're going to make. And who's the greatest shooter of all time?
Steph Curry.
It's like even right. It's like that one you don't even have debate.
Right.
Um, what is his field goal percentage?
High 30s, low 40s.
All right, let's okay. Well, leave it to our viewership to go and ask Chatty G. Or, but the bottom line, it's less than 50%. And this is the greatest shooter of all time.
Career field goal percentage for Steph Curry, 47%.
That's incredible.
That's
Still
insane.
under.
That's insane. It's still under 50. That's insane, though.
Still under 50, and he's the greatest ever. So in your mind, if you get upset if you get miss two or three, or have a bad night, and the doubters come, and you can't, and you lose your mind, and you veer away from your plan, it's going to be really hard to make money over time in that mindset. If you're a shooter, you know, this says if shooter has no conscience. What happens if you, as a shooter or as a trader, there are going to be times where you're going to lose three in a row. Can you still make that trade? And if it's an A plus setup, you might have trade. I don't. A plus setups don't come every day. That's just not going to happen. So even that, so you might trade twice a week. What if you go a month with, and you had four trades and three of them were losers? Do you have the confidence to do this all the way through?
Yep.
And that's execution.
So I want to answer Chauncey's question here, right? Should A plus trades have more leverage and tight stops? I disagree with that. I really do disagree with that. If it's an A plus, sometimes you got to give it the room to work out. Perfect example here. We got a J trade at these lows, right? In the NASDAQ. We had high volume. We closed above the high. This is saying to get long. Maybe we don't get long the exact close of that tick, but we get long here. And I take a 10 lot because, oh man, this is the one. The market doesn't, it does go in my favor initially. Maybe I don't take profits because I'm looking for, something bigger. And did we get a complete reversal of this move? But I take a 10 lot because I say this is the one. This is the big one. I'm gonna make it right. Here it is. I'm gonna prove all the doubters wrong. Big P&L coming up on Twitter. Watch this. And then the market goes 13 points against you, and with a 10 lot, that is $2,200 in the Nasdaq. Can your account facilitate a $2,200 swing? Probably get stopped out because I need to have a tight stop, and you got the move completely right. Right? The market barely traded under your entry, but because you went with large size and a tight stop that may be too big for your account, you don't get to experience any of this move.
Yeah. Another way to do that too is think in units.
Right.
1 unit or 2 units. You would
Agreed.
never do 5 units.
Yeah, and what I would say, and who said this? Shadow Warrior said A plus should have more size though. That I agree with. But that size has to be relative to your account. Like Coach Paul was just saying, what is your unit of measure, right? So Coach Paul, if I'm trading a $4,500 drawdown account, right? I have 150K XFA. How would you divide the units of measure there?
Well,
1 micro is 1 unit.
1 micro is 1 unit. Or no. I would put it this way. What's the ATR?
Okay, right now ATR is 40 points. At the time of this trade, the ATR was 40 points on a 3-minute NASDAQ.
A tight stop would be, to me, 1 ATR.
Yep.
So how much is 1 ATR?
40 points.
How much is that in a mini?
$800.
How much is it in a micro?
$80.
So I have a 4,500 drawdown.
Mm-hmm.
I can't risk $800 on one. That's a tight stop.
Right.
Can I risk 160?
2 micros.
Yeah, because yeah, so at 10%, let's say your daily risk is, let's say it's 10 to 12%. Well, that's $500 right around there.
Yep.
Yeah, you can if this is an A plus setup, all right, maybe you do 5 micros.
Let's go to the S&P because Chauncey was saying, a tight stop in the S&P is 6 points. So let's take a look. Same trade, right? We had that high volume reversal. We get a long above the high. We get, well, our close. If we waited for the long, it's up here. This is an A plus setup for me. Take a long there, 6 points, stopped out. ATR is 9 points at this point, and that's a tight stop, right? Coach Paul's suggestion is usually 2 ATRs, where your stops are all the way down here. But if we want to go tighter, 9 points. If we go 6 points, stopped out in this case. I do
Another
want.
way that's why is sometimes I will measure it to go if this is a trade that's an exhaustion or a J trade,
Mhm.
shouldn't make new lows.
Right.
So what if it should make new lows? I put my stop a couple ticks underneath that low. How much is that going to cost me?
25 points.
Okay, now 25 points. If I do two, that's 50 points. Well, it's 2,000.
Right.
Yeah, if you do too many, so it goes back to micros,
Mhm.
and I really put it into the daily risk budget. Like I said, if that's an A, let's say that's an A plus setup. Now I have $4,500 account drawdown. That's where I would take one trade
Right.
and risk $500. And if it's an A plus setup, I want more than 2 to 1.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of times we look at A plus setups as, hey, I want to maximize as much as possible from this trade. I did it today and I did not get to experience any of that trade, right? Because I did over leverage in it. So a lot of what we're saying is, one coming from experience. Coach Paul, you ever over leverage into something that you thought was high probability and you got $0 from it? You actually paid for it, right? So the reason
No,
we're
it's never happened. I swear.
but the reason we're saying this is because yeah, when it's A plus, you should get paid from it. But it's like you meet someone that you think you really like, and you're just like, after the first date, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna marry them. Slow down a little bit, right? Maybe don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? First date, yeah, it made you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but you know, maybe that's not the best decision to make. And it's the same thing here. Uh, do I put all of my eggs in one basket because hey, this is the one? Because again, there's a high, there is no A plus setup that is 100%. Um, so you got to still manage your risk.
And like I said, the A plus setup, that's it. That's the A plus setup. The- you're going to be trading a lot less.
Yep,
And I think it's the C trades that kill us.
100%. I know it is for me. When I review my trades, it's man, why'd you take that? Right? You go back and review it, and you're just like it's the C trades are the ones where you are doing some back testing and you just go like this, right? You're just like, nope, there's nothing good there. There's nothing good there. And you just go over it. Why are you trading in this? Why am I, the market looks like this. Why am I trading in here? For my strategies. For a range trader, maybe, but, uh, know what pays you. Text them 200
Yeah.
times after your first. Can you show us a C trade? Good question. Let's see. When have we had consolidation? Okay, so for me, right? C trade for me. I'm a breakout momentum, follow the flow trader. A C trade for me is when there is no flow. So it usually means lower volume time. Let's go to middle of the day right here, whatever this was, October 8th. Anything for me when volume is consistently below the average can't be anything better than a B minus for me, right? If I look at all the trades that pay me really well, there's volume in all those trades. There's potential for follow through. So if I'm taking anything in this range, I can't give it anything better than a B minus. Now, do I have a range trading strategy? I do. The range trades don't pay me very well when I look back at my stats. Uh, and then, a C setup would be looking at this range, right? The market defined this range. I use VWAP for everything. So VWAP on this range, and I'm looking to buy this high, right? Where, oh man, the market ran up all day, right? It's going to continue to make all new all time highs here. This has to be the breakout. This is a C setup. Why? Because everyone who joins at the buzzer, they know, right? Flat VWAP means what? Range bound market. So if this is actually probably a D setup here. 'Cause there's no volume even going with this move, Coach Paul, up at these highs.
Oh, wow.
That would be C or worse.
Those are impulse trades or
Yep.
trades where I call them, I'm just trying to make money.
Yep.
And so you get forced into not trading right. You're just trying to be right.
Hmm.
Good trading, you don't have to be right. You just have to trade right.
Yeah.
Now, that discipline comes over time.
Yep.
Wow, get rid of that chart. It's making me ill.
Hey, if you're a range trader, this is an A. So it depends on who do you
There
have
you
eyes
go.
for? Who do you have eyes for, right? Uh, you know, for a range trader, this is A
Really.
plus. Buy it at the lows, sell it at the highs because VWAP is flat. It's not going anywhere. I just don't make money in here because I'm just inherently a momentum trader. I look for momentum to start, and there was just none in here, right? But somebody could look at this and be like, "Oh man, this is where my biggest trading days come from." So it really depends. It is all relative. We are above time as well. Anything else you want to say before
Well,
we go, Coach Paul? Conversation today.
great conversation today. As we said, have a plan. Trade the plan, plan your trade. If that is an A plus setup, then have the patience to wait for it.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. We only got to 130 likes, so I guess no J Trade video. We'll just keep all the secrets to ourselves. Thank you all for joining. As always, Coach Hoop is not doing his class in Discord today. He has some stuff he needs to take care of, but he should be back tomorrow. Coach Ray and Coach Vince, 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time. Of course, Dakota for slow markets tonight at 7:30. I'll be on with Coach Dakota. So make sure you tune in there. Then we have Aaron with the London Open at 1:30 a.m. Central. D with the Euro Trade, 3:30 a.m. Central Time. Uh, we appreciate you all being here. As always, we cannot run these shows without you. Hopefully, everything we're saying is helping you, or anything we're saying is helping you with your trading journey. Trade well, manage your risk, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.